late. Lucky that I'm even on because guess what? My camera decided it was like, no, I don't want to be recognized by your machine. I was like, you will be recognized. Recognize? You better recognize. All right, so what's up? Biggest news of the day, obviously, Amazon 20-to-1 split. What's that going to do? Well, Google announced a 20-to-1 split, and what happened? Google tanked the next day. So we need to keep an eye on that for sure. Sure. And let's see what else we got going on here. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. So 1, 2, 3, 10. That's crazy. The market's gonna go crazy. All right, let's see. Ooh, what's up, Andrea? You beat Johnny here. I wonder what he's gonna say about that. He's usually the first one here. Oh my gosh, there's a company called Couchbase. What? What do they do? What do they do? The craziness of it all. Ooh, what is this? Oh, look at that pullback. Oh, look at that pullback. All right. Who's dumping? Gold's ripping, crude's ripping, bonds are down, yen's down, which means rolling over, and just rolling over. All right. Gold, man, with the big rippers these days. Jeez. Higher lows and higher highs. All right. And don't need that. Oh, the fade. The fade. The fade. SPX trade yesterday went really well. I'm really glad that it closed. Let's see. Closing hours is 1400, right? I had the 4180, 4160, 4140 butterfly or put butterfly going into the close. Closed at 4177, which means that since the cash doubles, I made whatever the difference between 4180 and 4177 is made it in some cash. Cold hard cash. Let's see what that did for my account. Who's this new guy without a hat? My bad, dude. You want a hat on? I don't know, man. I had some struggles this morning with just getting everything ready. And I was like, is oil going to continue to go down? That is a good question. We will definitely look a little bit deeper into oil. This looks like it's recovering to me. This looks like a healthy pullback to recovery. We will see. I wish oil would go down, but or at least gasoline inventories. All right, let's get into it. We've got quite a few things to cover. There's a bunch of earnings and all right. Asana. Oh, CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike with the win. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And what's even better is that it kind of... So, what do we have going on here? We got a slingshot squeeze setting up, ready and fire, getting ready to cross around. Double yellow, so neutral, right? Kind of choppy. We crossed the 50 and the 200. Big rip out of that. So gap and go for CrowdStrike. If the market will support it, we're going to get some stack positive moving averages. We overtook the 50. We are up into, it's a really big daily cloud. Looking at weekly, monthly mids for targets. That 205, if 4-hour can hold at 185. Even pull back to possibly about 183. EPS at 30 cents versus 20 cents. Q4 revenue 431 versus 410. Sees Q1 EPS at 22 to 24 cents versus 17 cents. So they're saying that they're going to have a better Q1. And so yeah, slingshot and all around the board. Now, I want to see what a retracement looks like from the rip. Profit taking, obviously. I said a retracement from the rip. Let's see if we go to the low, go to the rip. So we have two choices here. We can either go to the RIP, right? 618 retracement on the RIP is a pullback to the 50%, or 50% retracement from this low to this high is a 200-day, which is also about the 50-day on the 4-hour. I think that's a good support spot. If we dip to the 382, that'll be the 21 rising up to meet it, the 50-day coming down to meet it, this releasing from there. So I like CrowdStrike today. Again, if the market can support it, right, which means that there's not massive QQQ sell-off. All right, let me check something here. I should have. I should have cash settled. Where's my history? Let me look at something here. One second, I'm just going through things. All right, so yeah, I like CrowdStrike. Let's say 204, 205, just because those are previous highs. Oh. Second here. Okay, CrowdStrike looks good. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see, so okay. I'm gonna have to look through that a little bit closer. 4280, 4270. All right. I don't understand the way Tasty does their cash settled puts. Interesting. Anyway, I made about 80 bucks. Should have made about 300, which is, I got to look into that. I should have closed it myself. Next time I'll close it myself. All right. I learned a lesson today. In financials, Marquetta, Q4 EPS in line with revenue that increased 76% year over year. This one's been doing pretty good. It's going to try to retake the daily top, so I'd say above 1250 for a move to 14-ish. Okay. Oh, healthcare. I totally skipped over healthcare. There's really nothing in healthcare news. Intella Therapeutics, NTLA, announced that the U.S. FDA has granted orphan drug designation for its drug in investigational T cell receptor for acute leukemia. Little rounded bottom here, slingshot coming through. It's just super choppy, man. Yeah, I would stay away from this one. You could possibly play a dip rip to 72 from 68. Find something else to play today. No big names in financials are coming out saying anything in energy. This should be interesting though. Oh yeah, a couple things. Keep the CPI data today. Don't forget about that. All right. And shares of infrastructure companies may be in focus Thursday after the House passed a long delayed $1.5 trillion spending plan that would fund the U.S. government through the rest of this fiscal year. Vulcan Materials and Martin Marietta Materials will benefit from that. BMC, right? If it can get out of above 178 for a move to 180, 180 to 180, 150, and then ultimate target about 185. They should benefit off that news. And then the other one was MLM. Oh, that's just super chop. Yeah, stay away from that sucker. GE reiterated its 2022 EPS forecast despite inflationary and supply chain challenges ahead of its investor meeting later today. Said it expects to post high single-digit revenue growth this year on the back of more than a 20% increase in aviation revenue. It says EPS in the range of $2.80 to $3.50. Yeah, but struggling with the 5,200. This is healthy. Up and pull back. If it dips to 89.50, right, which it looks like it's trying to do, a little dip down, retest for a mid daily bottom for a bounce up. That would be a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big long moves getting ready to set up. The safe move would be above 92 for a move to 94.50 and then 96. Okay, that's the safe move on GE. They also announced a buyback earlier this week. So GE coming out with dual news should be interesting. Okay. All right, consumer news. Amazon, of course, everybody's talking about Amazon. Board of directors approved a 20-to-1 stock split of the company's common stock to be effective June 6th, and the buyback up to $10 billion of the company's stock. It gave up the ghost here. It gave up this 618 retracement from the rip to the dip, the 50 and the 200. So it is now back, right, on its way back to test 28.98. Below that, it tests a 21 daily cloud bottom top, right, at 28.50, which is 4-hour mid. So that's a healthy pullback. I bet you there's some fib levels in there as well. If we went from the high to the low, how low can you go? I would say $28.40 is kind of the point here, right? If I went from over here, and that makes sense. If we do an extension, and let's keep an eye on this level here. And I'm assuming there's gonna be a little dip to the 34 retest, right? Let's just call it 2,900. Pull back to 2,900 for a longer rip, right? If it gives up 2,900, I think it comes back and tests 2,850-ish level, but definitely below 2,840. I think we see a larger move to the downside. Very possibly, right? Because it's just kind of rolling over right now, and it gave up the 5,200, but it's got a lot of downside pressure trying to push it up. Okay. This is the Amazon 30-minute chart. Okay. Big pop up to point of control and then pull back. There's very little volume between VWAP, the 21-day, and the 200 right here at this 29. Like I said, 2,900 is pretty significant. Right, let me move this point of control business over. So if we go point of control from all right, that's a little bit more accurate. 20 point of control and view up from below. Puts view up right here at this 2,900. Point of control right up at what previous highs. So there's lots. You guys can't see it. Dang it. Let me do something here real quick. Let me use my. All right. So demand zone. Let's just say we have. All right, so instead of a demand zone, I'm going to show you high volume areas. We have high volume there, right? We have high volume here. We've also got some pretty high volume right here, right? So in between, we have areas of low volume, which would be there, there, and down here, right? So there's no volume in those red areas. So rally up, people are selling, taking profits, pulling back, people are looking to buy, right? Or move back up. If this volume area holds this 2134 EMA, if that breaks, there's no volume to support it as we dip back down to the supply zone, okay? But stack positive moving averages, 8, 21, 34, 50, rising up to meet a relatively flat 200. So 2,900 psychological level, big bounce off of that. If we play the extension, right? Right, we play the extension from the rip. The 382 retracement, so from this rally, pull back to the 382, which confirms trend, right? Fibonacci 382 confirms trend, is right here at this $2,900 level, okay? Which it's it just is dipping down right now, right? So major inflection point here. Major. Do I have a zip? Trying to get this big enough everybody can see what's going on. Okay. So the 127, right? Get over here. Come on. The 127 extension from this low to this high, pullback. 127, right, is at a previous high. Okay, point of control is right around previous highs. Just I'm looking at the symmetry, not the symmetry, but the the symmetry, the similarities, right? Inflection points, right? These are all key indicators that algorithms look at, right? Is the stock holding the 200-day? Is it holding the 21, right? Is it at VWAP? Is it at a retracement level, right? It's the 382. Right? The 382 is wicked down to test that, right? Its previous lows. So it hit its pullback and now it starts making its move back up, right? Let me just. Okay. So it ripped up, it pulled back. If it finds support here, we get another move up, retesting point of control, ripping through the supply zone, coming up and testing the 127. I like the 1414, so that $3,200 level on Amazon, right? Everybody's talking about 3,200s. I think it makes sense. Okay. All right. Enough about Amazon. KB Homes got an upgrade to overweight from neutral. Target cut to 51 from 64 at JP Morgan, while Toll upgraded to neutral from underweight. So home builders are starting to get some upgrades and downgrades. I think that there's going to be some movement back into consumers. Okay. Tesla increased their prices of their long range versions of the Model 3 and Model Y as nickel prices surged. They increased the price $1,000. Right, it's holding its 200. Gonna get some crossover up and back. Remember, I said we were going to retest the 50% retracement. Right, I'm telling you, these fib levels are fire. Computer programs listen to Fibonacci because it's measured. Right, if you've done any sort of computer programming or development or anything like that, if you have a measurable move, you have data that you can feed a program. That's how they work, right? If you're like, take the low, take the high, mark out a 50%, a 618, a 50%, and a 382 retracement from it. Look to buy if these other factors are, there's other factors that stack into this, right? But computer programs, it hit 50% retracement, right? Up, confirmed it, making its move up. Now it's back testing the 21. If it can hold, or the 200, if it can hold this 200, 34, 13, 21 cluster here, then it can move up, right? 4-hour mid, I think I think 4-hour mid might be too much to ask for it, but it is definitely setting up for a move. I'm not 100% sure if they can do trendline resistance, but you see it there, bull flag, right? Big old wedge getting ready to break, compression, squeezing stuff in, daily mid, like. So I would look for a move up through the 4-hour top, back testing the 4-hour top for confirmation. So move up to like 890, back testing 875, 880 for confirmation of support for another move back up to 935, 940 on Tesla. Contrarian, if this area up right here gives up the ghost, right, we would retest the 382, which would be a move back to the daily, weekly, 4-hour bottom low, right? Follow the trend line, make a big old nasty falling falling broadening pattern. I don't know what they call this, but it's not a falling wedge because it would be invalidated. So it gives up the ghost here, right? So below, let's go below 830. Yeah, Tesla below 830 comes and retests sub 800. Okay, that's the Tesseract for you. World news: the House moved Wednesday toward approving a massive spending bill that anchored by $13.6 billion for battering Ukraine and its European allies after top Democrats abruptly dropped their plan to also include fresh funds to battle COVID. So COVID's gone. COVID's not a thing anymore, but Ukraine is. Ukraine aid included $6.5 billion for the U.S. cost of sending troops and weapons to Eastern Europe and equipping allied forces. Japan February PPI raises 0.8% month over month versus 0.6% consensus, 9.3% year over year, 8.77% consensus. Year over year raised the highest on record. Okay, so what does that mean? Sorry. All right. Some key events today. We've got Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs having some conferences in London and San Francisco. Lots of earnings today. Ulta has earnings. Rivian has earnings. So, okay. What do you think is going to happen with Rivian? Right? Amazon announcing 21 split. Rivian has earnings today. That's a good question. Right? Let's just ask some of the people and see if anybody has anything intelligent to say. That's earnings. Any thoughts on Amazon's affecting it? Okay. Rivian has earnings today. I do have a couple shares of earnings. Oracle is usually really good off of earnings. DocuSign and Blink. Y'all remember Blink? I remember Blink. Please tell me it's below 17. Please tell me it's below 17. Oh, dang it. I missed it. Oh, I just want this thing to come back down. All right. This is where I missed my initial entry on Blink at 17.57 by 2 cents. It proceeded to rip to $60 after that. I was so mad. They have earnings. Oracle. Oracle has earnings today, right? This is a big old seahorse, right? Seahorse patterns are bearish. Okay. What else has earnings? Oh, DocuSign. DocuSign going into earnings. Kind of a death rattle. Another big old looking seahorse death rattle. Possible. Okay, so let me just look at this a little bit more. DocuSign down to the 4-hour, rejected the 4-hour mid daily bottom. This is typically setting up for a larger move to the downside. So DocuSign below 90, right? It falls to, there's no celts down here to help it, right? This would be death cry, right? Death rattle. Contrarian. We get some support at the 4-hour bottom, right at 93, 94. We get to move back up to the 4-hour mid, 98. Retested 21, 99.50. Above that, there's a move to the 34 period EMA, which is also the daily top, 4-hour top, or daily bottom cloud. Move through to the 4-hour top at 103, 105, or 103, 104. Let's just call it 103. Okay. It could be setting up for a big old nasty inverse head and shoulders, or a move to the downside. DocuSign earnings are going to really determine if it's going to have a good next quarter or not. Okay. All right. No earnings before the bell of anything that we typically trade. What's BBW? Oh, Build-A-Bear. Bye, sucker. Build-A-Bear is going to 14, possibly 12. They had good earnings, but it's some profit taking there. All right. People are like, sell everything, buy Amazon. Okay. Earnings today, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, so in 28 minutes. Jobless claims, continuation claims, and CPI for February. Okay. CPI core, food and energy, all of this is at 8:30. 10:30 federal budget for February, which is going to be increased, and then the weekly natural gas, natty gas inventory at 10:30 as well. So, what? I installed the stupid Ring doorbell, and of course, they want you to pay for a subscription to do some of the cool features. Okay, alrighty. So, S&P futures slid down 0.7% or 30 points to 4236.51 off the overnight low 4235.75. Ahead of key CPI inflation data later this morning at 8:30 as oil prices resume its upward momentum, up 4%. European stocks tumble while developments on Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues to roil risk assets ahead of ECB's meeting later today. Overnight, Ukraine and Russia failed to make progress in halting the war and bridging the vast differences between them at the first high-level talks between their foreign ministers since Russia's invasion began. Also, overnight, House approved legislation prohibiting U.S. imports of Russian oil as lawmakers backed stronger punishments on Moscow. The stock market was on cruise control, higher on Wednesday as the S&P finished 2.6 higher for the largest gain since June 2020. I didn't trade yesterday. Oh, that's just weird. As recent surging commodity prices, especially oil, cooled off while the war in Ukraine continues, the Dow rallied 2%, Nasdaq 3.59%. All of this is ahead of CPI data later today. Headlines estimate CPI to rise 0.8% and month over month, and 7.9% year after year. Previously 7.5%. As core readings at 0.5, estimated blah blah blah. Meanwhile, rhetoric in European easing slightly as both UA and US appear to be making conciliatory gestures towards Russia after the UA said it won't this week. It won't extend membership to Ukraine, and the Pentagon isn't sending Poland's MiGs in an apparent effort to dial down tensions. So basically, the UA said, guess what? We are not going to allow you to become a member. European Union, that's what that is. Okay. This week has certainly been volatile as Monday top headlines read S&P 500 sinks 2.9%, blah, 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 right? They're trying to push that fear. Really, they're really trying to push that fear. Okay. In Asian markets, right? Asian markets overnight, Nikkei index advanced nearly 4%. That's a big move, babe. The Shanghai index gained 1.2%, Hang Seng climbed 1.27%, and in Europe, the DAX is down 2.53% after jumping up 7% on Wednesday. Up 7, back 2.35. Does that sound like a fib pullback? Sounds like a fib pullback to me. FTSE drops 1.1%. Bitcoin prices slide over 6.8% to 39,000 in another volatile move for crypto. Y'all want to see what that looks like? Do you want to see what that looks like? It's just, oh my gosh, the crypto. We looked at this yesterday, right? We looked at crypto. Here it is. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right, this is a 15-minute chart. Rippity rip rip rip. Oh, my levels are fire, dude. Oh my gosh, those levels are so fire. Dang it, get back here. I'm trying to show this kind of move. Oh, you can't see it. It's too dang light. Or if I have a way. Y'all can see they're big old nasty supply zone up here, right? There's so many sellers up there. They're like, we're getting out. Regardless, doesn't this look like the ghost from Pac-Man? Oh, it totally does. Totally looks like the ghost from Pac-Man. All right, so trend line. Let's look at some trend line nastiness here, shall we? All right, so trend lines are our friend until they're not. I don't think there's any hope for Oh, that's just nasty. So we came back down, micro demand zone, 15-minute demand zone here, setting up for the 15-minute demand zone, supply zone, right? No, that's demand. I got it backwards. Hold on. Do I have supply and demand backwards? I do. What is wrong with me? No, I think I have it right. These people have it wrong. Yeah, this is demand. I demand more shares to go sell. Supply, right? I'm selling, I'm providing supply. Yeah, I'm right. In a 382 retracement, I mean, my fibs could be off a little bit, which I think they were. So if we were to go from the rip, the dip, the rip, the dip. All right, so we blew through pretty much everything. Anyway, back down to 39,000. There's some stuff up here at this 39,500, right? I think rejection may be possible pullback. There's lots of support down here. Support resistance. That's what it is. SNR. 15-minute support, 15-minute resistance. They're saying 15-minute moves. All right. Calm the Bitcoin market down a little bit. I mean, it's going to look like a head and shoulders here, which it very possibly could. Left shoulder, big old head and neck. Right shoulder, short below 39,000. Bitcoin should be interesting. All right, so we might want to keep an eye on that. All right, let's get into some futures, shall we? Let's do it. Do it. Do it. All right. Let's see how our daily moves happened. All the lines. All the lines. All right. So we fell off, right? We fell down. We came up above. Second move up. Yeah, we would need to close. I think we retested 21. And I think we're setting up for. Oh, that's a tough one. We're on lows right now, right? We're right at some killer support. So let's just say below 42.1350, we see a move down. That's kind of the line in the sand, folks. All right, there's our voodoo lines. Okay. So we held the 21 yesterday. We ripped up, tested the 50-day, rejected the 50-day, rejected the 21, right? Cycle back down to the skyline, 4,200, right? 42.13 is my zero line, right? 42.13 to 4,200. There's something here that's gonna help. Like, I don't to draw. I'll just draw that there, right? There's a bounce zone there. From a fib perspective, yep, that 382. So depending on where you place your fibs, right? If you go from, which makes sense because that would have ripped through this. So from the March 8th low, right, to the March 9th high, the retracement, 50% retracement is right where we're at right now. If we come back down and hold the 382, so we hold this green zone right here, you want to mark it up on your chart, it is 4205 to 4213. That should be a bounce zone, right? Up and back and up, retest the 50 again. Remember, usually we don't make it through the first high, right? So we're ripping, right? Resistance. Let's pull back and gather some support here and then make a second attempt at it, okay? So maybe an initial flush to a rip. Those are the key levels. This may happen in the next 15 minutes. Let's see what we got going on the 15-minute chart. Oh yeah, look at that. They only got to drop it another 18 points to bounce. So the 50% retracement level could hold, right? Or they could drop it another 15 points to a 382, which would be like computers are starting to look at buying here, even though they're below the 50 or the 200, right? They're looking at the larger term support move. So if they drop it down to this green bar that I put here, right? It dropped to this green level here, right? And then it could be a nice big move today. They'd have to come back up, retest this key level, which is the 382,618. So it's 618 retracement from this run and the 382 from a larger term. Yeah, look for buy the F and dip right here. Okay, spent a lot of time on that. Let's look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, right? I can already tell you they're gonna buy the Nasdaq. Yes, sir. Back. Remember this? Remember when I tell you about swords? Like I used to call it trend killer, like off of Game of Thrones, right? There's that giant sword that downtrending sword kills it. Oh, we bounce off of it. Okay. So high, we're pulling back. There's gonna be some support. I'll look at it. I'll do the same thing, but God, that level comes up so often. 13,465. Support for a move up to retest to 21. 21 rejection, 21 rejection, 21 rejection. Gonna have to do a 21 follow through a rejection. Downtrending 200 or downtrending 50-day, downtrending 21, flat 200. Gonna retest these levels, right? Or we're gonna continue to push price action down. Okay. So daily, look at the 4-hour. Let's do that same thing we did. Let's measure our move from right, measured move, 50% retracement on the Nasdaq. Puts us at that 13,470, which is my snow line's 13,465. So support there, right? Rejected the 50. Okay, let's climb back up. Targeting, oh, this would be a good move today. If you want to be safe, you wait till it's above 13,835 for a 14,025 move. Okay. Oh, this is going to be clean. Should I forecast it? Should we just say this is a move that's going to happen today? Or maybe Maybe it was this one. All right, hold on. I feel like I'm starting to be bullishly biased, and I don't want to do that. I do not want to go into this market biased. So I will play a 50% retracement bounce, right? This just may wick down and touch it. Computers, there's computer programs sitting at this level and at this level, right? Little wick, rip, quickly. Ooh. All right. Downside targets, right? 13,470 is key level, right? Below that, 13,387. That's been a long time key level. We can easily make a nice move back down. It'd probably be a measured move. We'd have to fib level it, but I don't like the 2150 cross down on the 30-minute. Okay, so another daily. Everybody's talking about what I just illustrated for you on the ES. Okay. All right. So the Dow. This is a little bit tougher one. Up and back. There's that trend killer. Up and back. Up. Up. Fire line 33631. Let's break it down to the 4-hour. So above the 21, 50-day rejection. Okay. Let's look at a fib retracement. I think we go from here, right? 382 kiss, back up, okay? If we hold 32,855, we've got resistance at 33,078, excuse me, 33,090, 33,340, or 33,623. Okay, I'm so upset that I don't have my futures machine set up right now. It's going to be so glorious when the volatility kicks in about 12 minutes, 10 minutes. All right, measured move down, or not, I can't say measured, it's not a measured move, but retracement, right? Nice and clean retracement. Okay, if it fails, like I think, you know, with the instruments that are $32,000, you have to give a couple dollar leeway. You can't be like, oh, it didn't hit, you know, 328525. It hit 32855. It's a $32,000 instrument. $33,000 instrument. Let's give it a couple dollars. Okay. So I like the pullback bounce. If for some reason it breaks this, we have a skyline support at 32,700 ish. Okay. Moving on to the red-headed Russell. What is going on with the Russell? Well, it's kind of the one doing the inverted head and shoulders, right? Rippity rip rip rip. Pull back, big trend killer candle. Tested the 21, pulled back. It's trying to test the 21 pre-market, so Russell small caps are going to move. I would say above 2020, there's a tree line at 2040, the 200 days at 2050, right? Just for nice, clean, round numbers. All right, so we rallied up on, this is a 4-hour, right? One test of the 21 sold off. Two tests of the 21 sold off. Finally closed above the 21. Test of the 50 broke out above everything. Everything's looking great. Yay, yay, yay. Nope. Let's take profits. All right, so it pulled back. We may get a 2150 200 crossover today on small caps, right? So super interesting small caps move. Let's see what our fib retracement. All right, that killed it. So it's this one. All right, Nice little 50% pullback, right? It's going to explode up here, right? We're going to fight. All right, so above 2014.50, a little quick, maybe some wick up to 2023, above 2023, 2040 incoming, and then I like this 2070 level here. So, all right, so the Russell may lead the way today, okay? Gold is doing goldish things. What's this you say? What are these fib levels here? That this 1414. I'm telling you, this 1414 is so fire, right? So we had a nice rip up, right? We pulled back to the 50%. We rallied up to the 1414, right? And now we're pulling back. So we would move our whole thing this way. Up, 618 held. This is a 50% retracement, right? Beep. Right, 618 held. Gold. Does it make a higher high? Or is this a broadening pattern setting up? Right? 1, 2, 3 down. Ooh, maybe we're onto something. Held the 21, 50, 200, right? Stack positive moving averages. 2022, trading zone right here. Like we could very well just chop within this for a little bit. This is pretty bullish looking. Yeah, pretty bullish on gold. Careful, maybe maybe a little head and shoulders here. So, like I said, if we start getting closes below this, it'd be interesting, right? I mean, those levels are fire, dude. Levels are fire. Yes, sir. All right, 618's got to hold. 50%'s got to hold. So below, right? Below 1978, 1950 incoming. Quick move down. Okay. Looking at crude. That's crude oil is telling me that. Oh, crap. Sorry, I needed to check some things. I'm gonna drop those quant levels on there so we can see what computers are doing. Okay. All right, crude. Let me get rid of some of this garbage. It made our move, made our retracement. All right. Big down day yesterday on crude, right? Up and up and up, right? These are big moves, right? $10, $15 moves in a day. That's pretty huge. It did pull back. So this would be the retest for a larger move down. Okay. And then we want an extension. Would have to be from I think for some reason those are supposed to be hidden. I mean, sorry, I needed to remove some of those lines. A little bit clearer of a move here, right? So there's a rip up, 382 held, 50 held, 618 testing right now. So this snow line at 116, 119, right? Give me some resistance possible. Retracements at there. If we get above it, so above 119, then we come and test this 125, 128, 130 level, okay? And it's really hard to see with all those lines. Let's see if I can get rid of some of this stuff. Jeez, I gotta fix that. I think the lines are off. So now we closed above a fire line, tree line target. So that's retracement. It held 618. And now for where it's going to move, we do kind of the same move. Right up. So initial targets. Those just line up too perfectly, right? So we have 146, 148, 157 dead nuts on target. Okay. So yeah, 146, 148 target on crude. Oh. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. ZB bonds. I miss the days of falling bond sales. Pretty decent. If this is today. So pretty 1, 2, maybe a 3-bar down. 153. I'm looking for 153 support on bonds. So if we get a down day here, we can look for ES to rally, but it's turning out kind of doji. It did fill the gap. Remember I said in futures, all gaps must be filled. So we did get a gap fill this morning. Geez, those are just too clean. There is a gap down here to be filled, so let's not sleep on this sucker. 142 or 152.23. So maybe a little down move today, right? And then some wicking down to fill that gap. I think that's what may happen. So down, 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 here, maybe a wick down, and then a quick retracement, maybe a move back up, okay? And then the Japanese yen, this should move up because of the CPI numbers. Let's see. On the daily, this is what happens when you lose to 2150. So their CPI numbers, so this is their CPI data today, right? Big rip. All right, that's it for DOS futures, and what do we got going on here? Okay. Let's get into, let me change this to the 2-minute. Oh, look at that. CPI data out. Shit, I can't believe I missed it. My bad, y'all. 50% retracement held, testing 618. Big rippers. It's the big ripper. It's the big ripper. Russell. Right. Remember, the Russell's going to lead the way. Russell Dow all moving. 200-day test coming up soon on a lot of things. Forex Factory is telling us our CPA data is, shall we see? Nailed it. Ooh, unemployment claims up 7,000, right? Everything else in line with estimates. Okay. Everything else in line with estimates. So the market have that built in, possibly. Right. Like I said, I think we get a big, like, the Russell's going to lead the way today, and it's already starting off. If the Russell gets above 1997, whoop-dee, there's going to be a lot of 200-day tests. The Nasdaq is testing the 200-day right now. I mean, granted, it's the 2-minute candles, right? But 2-minute candles become 5-minute candles. And 5-minute candles become 15-minute candles. And 15-minute candles become 30-minute candles, right? That's why fib levels are so important. I need a drink. Yeah, data's taking it up on me. All right, let's look at the 5-minute chart on all of these. All right, we took the 21, or we overtook the 50. Like, look at this big. I'm so mad I wasn't able to trade this. 13,000 or 13,500 to 13,600, so 60-point move. Right, big moves are happening. All right. It's flow trade time. All right. Good morning first. All right. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Johnny. I can't believe Andrew beat here this morning, Johnny. We went up oil. Who's the new guy with that hand? Morning, Orlando. Morning, DJ. It's good to see you. And what's up, Brian? So, you want to check out AMD, SPY, LMT, and Zoom. CVX, OIH. Is that a Andrea, is OIH a ticker? I have not traded OIH, so I'm not sure what it is. Oh, derp. Ooh, that's nasty right there. It's kind of ugly. This is not pretty, that's for sure. But if it can hold, little tweezer bottom, if it can hold 273, break out at 280, 285, 290, new high 306. Okay. All right, let's get into it. This is FlowTrade. This is the smart money dark pool block trade algorithm software. It's created the Flow Index. The Flow Index tracks large institutions, hedge funds, smart money, dark pools, and block trades. Creates a predictive leading indicator which shows what smart money is doing in reference to price action. We look for divergence. We look for price action doing one thing and the Flow Index doing another. If the Flow Index is, if they're buying into a position as price action is coming down, that point of divergence must play out. So price will price will follow the Flow Index, not the other way around. Okay, most indicators follow price. The Flow Index is independent of its y-axis, which means price will usually follow it. Okay, this is not the greatest looking setup, right? This is just a definite head and shoulders with a gap that needs to be filled. So there may be dips to 260, and there's also this gap way down here, which I'm sure that'll be filled at some point. All right. As far as my chart setup goes, the purple line is the regular flow index or the normal flow index. Green bars are price action. These blue lines that you see here, Cheerson, are dark pool block trades. These red lines are regular block trades. And this white line right here, that is a good time. Just kidding. White line means that a regular and a dark pool have printed on top of each other, right? At 213, 212.85, 213, so close that it's a major inflection area. You've got to keep an eye on it. We do have bearish divergence showing up on NVIDIA, right? There's no set time for how long this divergence can play out. So with NVIDIA, we could have this divergence go for several days as NVIDIA rips. But just know that their point of divergence here, right? The actual point of divergence, let's see. We have price up and fill the divergence level, right? Price went up, it still filled the divergence level, okay? We have micro divergence, price went up, filled that divergence level, and we have a little bit of trading with price up into this point here. Then we have additional divergence, right? Divergence at 228, okay? So I know that the flow index is a little, it feels like it's a little different than the old version. So they did just release a new version of this, of the flow index of the Algo, right? So price is selling off. This divergence is really, really brand new, and some of that micro divergence might play out. So if we can get a pullback to about 228, right, then that divergence plays out, and we see what the flow index is doing at that time. Okay, so pushing stuff up, smart money's taking profits, right? They're selling you these positions that are being bought up. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Right? Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. From a fib perspective level, whoopsie, we're gonna go to this one. Right? The move, measured move back to the 382 retracement. I like to see a 50% 618 touch. If we give up the ghost here, we come back to the 23.6%, which I don't use, but it does fill a gap, and it does set up for a potential trend down. If we run a fib from, let's say this is the high, back down to this low, looking for areas of symmetry, right? Areas where things line up. Notice this 213 level is a 23% retracement from this low to this high. It's also a white line level, so 213, mark it on your chart, okay? We also have, right, a 50% 2.3 level at 220. So I would do a demand zone at 220, right? And then I would do another demand zone down here using 213 as the top, okay? Just so y'all see those levels. Fib levels don't lie. Like I said, computer programs buy based on Fibonacci levels as well as other technical indicators. All right, that's NVIDIA. I just wanted to show what we're looking at here. So give me your requests and I will get to them now. Okay, we wanted to look at AMD. What did Andrea have first? Since she was the first one, or Andrea was the first one here. Chevron. You want to look at Chevron? Sorry, Johnny. Sorry, bud. Got to be the first one here. I keyed. I keyed. All right, Chevron, bearish divergence, right? There's lots of gaps down here, which is a little sketchy. 1, 2, 3, maybe a little measured move back down to about 167. There's a white line at 160, so there's a dark pull on regular block trade support level there. Flow index is curling up. It is basically trading with price action. Interesting. Heard some noises. We have dual block, regular blocks at 160, 185. Got some dark pulls up here that should act as a magnet. Depending on if there's rotation from oil into other things, watch what the flow index does. If it turns and starts making a lower low, you could look to target the downside. And slow walk down to about 160, right? I don't even know what to call. I mean, it's not accurate though. If I ignore the wicks, then yes, it's a Not a falling, well, it's not a falling wedge. Yeah, it's either a bull flag or a falling wedge, depending on how you look at it. Okay, and let's see some other support levels here. All right, so that gave up the ghost. This one, and that looks like, yeah, we'll have to see. Chevron's gonna be interesting. Depends on what happens today. Like if it breaks, it can still squeeze down to here and then rip from a fib level. Right, if we go from high to low, right, this pull back right here is a 618 retracement from the low to the high. Okay, that's healthy pullback. See, low index bounced at the 50% retracement. Smart money computer programs. We're at a 50% retracement from the high. Let's move, right? If we continue down to the 382, right? Then we decide if we're going to downtrend or if we're going to continue moving up. Okay. All right. That was Chevron. OIH, which is, it looks like an ETF. Is it a triple? I'm not sure what it is, but same situation. Let's take a fib from our high down to our low, right? 618 pullback. We could very easily backtest 50% or even 382, which would fill some of those gaps, but the flow index is kind of okay. So 278.67. We had to block him in yesterday at the open, right? It ripped up, got rejected. There is, right? Kind of broken there. Right, so that got broken. So it may break out, but like I said, this kind of looks like a head and shoulders on that one. All right, moving on. XOM. All right, last 3 days, massive amount of block trades. Price action kind of chilling at this cluster level. I remember we went over this the other day, and I remember drawing this thing. Right, remember I drew this one? Now I gotta draw this one. Up, rejected, up, rejected. Like this is a big old middle finger, like, hey. This is the this is that middle finger play, right? It's a 50% retracement. That's all it is. If it rejects, it can come back down here to the 382 and still be in an uptrend technically, right? Massive amounts of regular and dark pool support here. We have white line magnets at 85.63, 86, 87, 89, right? Those are all going to be magnets to the upside. We had a bull flag breakout here, remember? This one here, right? So this is a key level of support. That's at $80.62, 80.68, right? So up a little flush. If that happens, watch for the big old nasty head and shoulders, but could signify trend continuation, uptrending continuation, not a trend reversal. Okay, 382 is very important when it comes to that. That could actually play into a little bit of a squeeze. The flow index continues to make higher lows and lower highs and squeezes up into this point here. As price comes back down, it can either break to the downside, which would be big flush, or it can rip out of it and pull. We've got these levels up here, right? So that was, what was that? Is that XOM? Yeah, XOM. All right, and then LMT. Wow, things just all over the place, dude. All over the place. For a $450, $480 instrument, see this little pattern right here? This is what I'm looking for to happen over on XOM, right? Right, squeeze down and big launch. Okay. Regular and dark pulls at 466.90 or 466.15, 466.98. Another regular at 462.75, and then a final one at 448.72. This is nasty. Like I don't. The flow index is trying to make a new low. There's gaps. Like I can't in good conscience call this because it's just there's no real concise, for me at least, there's no easily readable information. This just looks like panic and fear and chop. Okay, but smart money is taking profits, right? They're selling out of their positions, right? They start selling out of their positions as to drive prices up, right? So they're placing sell orders here, sell order here, sell order here, sell order here, sell order here, and as price comes up, the sell orders get filled and it continues to push price up, right? They start putting in buy orders, right? We're gonna buy here, buy here. All right, so next up, what do we got? You'd like to look at SPY, AMD, VUM today, not sure what that is, but XLK. All right, SPY. What is the SPY doing? The SPY is little Wu-Tang reversal. That's why we haven't seen a lot of is these Wu-Tang reversals lately, right? SPY did one. Lots of clusters. Let me drop the blocks down to the last 2 days. I think most, well, no, let's go 3 days. So we've got a block up here. Remember I talked about this block at 432 yesterday, right? They came in on the 7th. I'm like, hey, there's this block up here that needs to be filled. It's going to maybe a magnet. Well, they're stair stepping their way up. 432.20 or 432.30. There's a dark bull level there. Cluster at 427, 427.50. Look at what the flow index did at this 419.58, right? I would call that white line-ish, but there's some additional dark pulls down here at 416.62 that have not been filled. They came in after the close yesterday, right? They came in here while price was up. Pretty little bit of divergence, I would say. Let's see how it plays out, if any of it's played out. So we need to say this is the point of divergence and what was happening, right? Right, so micro divergence played out. The flow index made a high, or the flow index made a low. Price action made a high at this level right here. So this candle came up, that divergence played out. Trading with price a little bit, right? Trading with price, pull back, and now it's moving up. So a divergence, like, got to find the right zoom level for y'all to see that a little clearer. So if you watch flow index, right? Little divergence played out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stair stepping its way up. There's a gap down here that needs to be filled. Okay. I'm gonna look for possible head and shoulders. Typically, you can count on a 3-bar move. I don't even know what that one's going to be good for. So we had 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, right? 3 ups. Let's see what fib. Is fib going to help us? Is Fibonacci going to tell us anything, Johnny? Let's find out, shall we? What was that? Simpler trading is going off in my ear right now. That makes sense. Consolidation at the 2-3 level right here. That's pretty significant. It did fail. There's blocks right here. Ugh. Looks like we've got some similarities right at the 430.15 level as well. It's just pretty ugly. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So SPY, like I said, I think it's gonna wick. It's got to come up and fill this block, and then it's gonna come back down and fill those blocks. Okay. AMD with the rolling bottom algo. Oh, I got to run after the. Dang it! I got to keep starting doing these faster. All right, up and back and up from a fib perspective. Right. Rallied up, retested the 2-3. Hey, our trend is valid. Broke that. 112, 116, uptrending, off of support at 102.95. The flow index is kind of making a little rounding bottom here, so it could be possibly curling back around. If AMD were to start downtrending, right, it would need to 108.50, 107.33, 105.25 is your magnet. Below that, we have support at 102.79, and then it makes a new low. This just looks pretty bullish, right? It's coming to the top of a trading zone, right, which is about here. For it to get into its next trading zone, it's got to get above 113, and that 113, 115, 119 zone. Okay. It's cold in here. All right, and then XLK. I got to run after this. I'm Mike. All right, so this is that little rounding bottom I was thinking for on AMD. All retail coming in on XLK, right? 148, 148.52, 149, 149.63. The flow index, divergence played out, divergence played out. $618 retracement from this high to this low. So I would say above 150.50, you get that move back to 152, then 152 to 154. If this rejects and 148.25 doesn't hold, there's a move back down to 144.22 or 25 and 143.05. Okay. All right. Next up, we got Tesla. If I have time to do Freeport McMoran and CVE, I will, but I've been on for an hour and a half. All right, so white line level for Tesla is 840. Okay, flow index is made a higher low, higher high, higher low. It's kind of trying to recover a little bit. This looks like a pretty decent little head and shoulders, right? Inverse head and shoulders. That's why I said 840 is pretty significant. The 860 to 860 to 885 is trading zone. It's pretty important. Yeah, I think Tesla is going to move, right? I would just look for some of that resistance. Gapped up, filled it down. Looks like it's trying to recover. A little Wu-Tang reversal, back to support. Dark pool at 853. I'm just going to call this a white line at 859, 857.72, 858.96. Just white line it at 850. 858, right? So up and back and up again, right? Watch the trend line. Watch this kind of rising wedge. Let's do this. I gotta run after this. This is the only thing I'm a little sketched about right here, right? Is up here a failure. From high to low, right? Rip up above the 618 retracement. I got to look at the fib level from here to here, right? Where's their symmetry, right? Consolidation here, pop up. So lots of support. I like Tesla long today. Like, why is it so cold in here? Anyway, Freeport McMoran should continue to pull. The flow index still makes higher highs and higher lows. It's trading with price action now, right? We have white line support at 47. Above 47.57, you get that move back up to 48.49. There also is, it's making lower lows, so this could be the next down move, back down to 45.26, right? It's basically and then CVE, it's just chopping. We have magnet at 1630, and then that's a white line level, so there would be a magnet towards that. However, if it keeps rejecting its overhead resistance, look for a downside move. All right, I do got to run. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay green.